Your boss walks into your office at 4:47 on a Friday. He's sweating. 2 desks over, someone just got let go. He looks at you and says, he needs you to stay late tonight. You wait 3 seconds before you answer. Not because you're scared, because you don't have to say yes anymore. 5 years ago, you would have said yes before he even finished the sentence. 5 years ago, you had $340 in your checking account and a car that made a noise you were too scared to ask about. Now you've got more than a year of expenses sitting in an account you never touch. You still don't know if you'll get to keep your job, but for the first time in your life, that's not the scariest thing in the room. You're 26, you got $340 in checking and nothing anywhere else. Nothing saved, nothing set aside, just your paycheck coming in and going right back out. Every Sunday night, you feel the same thing, a tight feeling in your chest, not because anything happened, because anything could. Your car needs new brakes and you don't have the money, so you wait. You tell yourself it's fine. It's not fine. You just can't afford for it to not be fine. At work, your boss asks, who wants to take on extra hours this week? Your hand goes up before you even think about it. Not because you want to, because you need the extra $200 more than you need your Saturday. You say yes to everything, the late nights, the extra project, the meeting that could have been an email. You say yes because underneath all of it, there's one thought you never say out loud. If I lost this job tomorrow, I'd have 12 days before I couldn't pay rent. You do the math more often than you'd like to admit. Rent, car payment, phone bill, groceries, 12 days. That's it. That's the whole cushion between you and disaster. So you say yes. You always say yes. Because the alternative is doing the math again, and you already know the answer. You're 28 years old. You've saved your first $10,000. It didn't come from a bonus or a windfall. It came from 2 years of small stuff adding up. Skipping the delivery apps, bringing lunch instead of buying it, driving the same car instead of upgrading it, saying no to trips you couldn't really afford. You put it in a separate account, not the one you use for bills, a different one you don't touch. A few months in, your car finally makes the noise you were scared of. Something in the engine. The mechanic quotes you $1,820. Normally, this is the moment you panic. This is the moment you put it on a credit card and feel sick about it for a year. Instead, you pay it. From the account. The one you don't touch, except this one time. You watch the number drop from $10,000 to $8,180. And you wait for the panic to show up. It doesn't. Your car works. Nothing bad happened. For the first time in years, something broke, and your life didn't break with it. You don't tell anyone. There's no one to tell. It's not the kind of thing you post about. It's just a number in an app that did its job. That night, you keep going. You are 30 years old. It's a typical Monday morning at work. There are $30,000 in that same account that you started one day and began saving a few years ago. Most of it came from your paycheck, month after month, without you really noticing. Some of it came from a small raise you didn't spend. You just kept doing what you were already doing. Then, on a Tuesday, you find out the company is doing layoffs. Not a rumor this time. An email. Mandatory meeting at 3 p.m. Everyone around you is checking their phone, refreshing their bank app, doing the same math they've always done. You can see it on their faces, that tight feeling, the one you used to carry around like a second heartbeat. You feel it too, for about 10 seconds. Then you remember the number in your account. $30,000 is 6 months of rent, 6 months of groceries, 6 months of just living without a paycheck. You walk into that meeting differently than everyone else. Not relaxed, not careless, just steady. Your name isn't on the list. Neither is your coworker's, the one who's been having chest pains all week over a mortgage he can't miss a single payment on. You go home that night, and you don't celebrate. You just sit for a minute in your car in the driveway. You don't say anything to anyone at work the next day. Nobody asks why you weren't scared. Nobody knows there was a number sitting quietly behind the calm. You're 32 years old. It's 9:45 on a quiet Wednesday. You check your bank account. There's $60,000 in it. You don't check it every day anymore. You check it maybe once a month, almost out of habit, the way you'd glance at a clock. This is the year it happens to someone else, right in front of you. Marcus, 2 desks over, gets called into a meeting at 10 a.m. He comes out 20 minutes later carrying a cardboard box. Nobody saw it coming, least of all him. He stops by your desk on his way out. He doesn't look angry. He looks scared. He tells you he has a car payment due Friday and a mortgage due the 1st, and he doesn't know yet how he's going to cover both. You don't say anything smart. You just tell him you're sorry and you mean it. That night, you do the math you already know the answer to. $60,000 is a year, a full year of your life, covered, if this ever happened to you. Rent, car, groceries, insurance, all of it for 12 months without a single paycheck coming in. You think about Marcus, you think about the box, you think about how close that could have been to you 5 years ago, back when $340 was everything you had. You don't feel lucky. Luck had nothing to do with it. You just made a decision a long time ago and kept doing it, quietly, every single month when nothing was happening, and it felt like it didn't matter. It matters. You're 34 years old. It's 4:47 on a Friday. Your boss walks into your office. He's sweating. 2 desks over, someone just got let go an hour ago. He looks at you and says, he needs you to stay late tonight. You wait 3 seconds before you answer. Not because you're scared, because for the first time in your life, you don't have to say yes right away. More than a year of expenses sit in an account you barely check anymore. You could say no tonight and still be fine in March. You say yes anyway. But the yes is different now. It's not the old yes, the automatic one, the one built out of fear. This one is a choice. You're staying because you decided to, not because you're 12 days from disaster. You walk to your car at 9 p.m. The parking lot is empty. You sit there for a second before starting the engine, the same way you used to sit in your driveway after work, back when $340 was the whole world. You think about the version of you at 26, the one who couldn't afford for the car to make that noise. The one who said yes before anyone finished a sentence. He's still in there somewhere. He just doesn't run the show anymore. Years later, you're sitting at your kitchen table on a Sunday night, the same night you used to dread. You're not doing the math anymore. It's just a habit now, not a search for an answer you're afraid of. You think about that first $340, how small it felt back then. That money isn't sitting in an account anymore. It's invested, working every day whether you check it or not. It doesn't need your hours. It just keeps paying you a little more each year. But saving was never the actual goal. Saving was just how you got enough to start investing. That was the real shift, not the number, what the number could do on its own. People chase a bigger number because it's easy to picture. What's hard to picture is a Tuesday where nothing scares you. Nobody films that. But that was the whole point. Every dollar you saved and invested was never really about the money. It was about the 3 seconds you get to take now before answering your boss. It was about a version of yourself that doesn't flinch when the phone rings. You didn't get rich along the way. Your car is still nothing special. You just stopped being afraid. That's the real return. Your coworker Marcus is still 1 paycheck from a bad month. He doesn't know you're not. Nobody does. There was never a moment dramatic enough to tell. You finish your coffee. You go to bed at a normal hour on a normal Sunday with nothing to be afraid of tomorrow. That's the whole story. Not a fortune, just the absence of fear.